Alright. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. Wherever you're at. Good to see you. We're going to be getting started today with some Total War Warhammer multiplayer. King of the Hill action. And we're getting right to it. Straight to the action here. We've got Wicked versus A-Move Hacker for starters. Hello. Damon10 in the house. Dinner in a bit. Throw in the Streamlabs link. Oh yeah, if you check the description down below, Tamington, you'll see, and I do have even the notifications and everything set up, so you'll see a nice pop-up when something happens. Let me make sure I go ahead and have the Streamlabs dashboard open here as well. Good stuff. Okay, and all right. Yeah, Gondola here, Messy Historian. Good to see you all. Just a bit of a chill stream this morning, kind of short notice, but still. Wanted to get in some multiplayer action for you guys today, some live multiplayer action. I do actually have an overlay set up. Let me get this here. Not seeing it, huh? Let me double check here. Oh, it would help. It would help if I actually, saved it correctly. Ha! Okay, so there it is. Let me save that. And, yeah, I'll paste it here in the chat as well. So it should be there. Hey, what's up, Falcon? Who tabbed out? Did Wicked tab out? Wicked, did you tab out? Someone tabbed out while they were loading, I know. Oh no, here we go. We're loaded in now. Also, I'm not sure about the sound. Kind of quiet for me. That might just be my headphones, though. Check the sound levels here. That seems fine. Nice! Out of tests, finally. Congratulations! Done with the, semester, school season, whatever you want to call it. Let's have a look here, though, for Wicked's Greenskins. He's going to be rocking Double Giant with a Rogue Idol. Have not seen this yet. In theory, very strong. Going to be pretty slow, but up against the Lizardmen, that's a lot of powerful heroic weapon strength. Monstrous weapon strength, even. Not really heroic, though. In a way, they are heroic. We've also got Goblin Wolf Chariots. Very interesting choice here. Goblins, 8-peak loons, got a couple big uns, Black Orcs as well. Yeah, and the mage, obviously, Caster Lord, Dancing Wurzag on foot. Check it out, folks. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. For the Lizardmen here, we're going to go ahead and take a look. Pahawk Sentinels. We've got horned ones in the back. Some... what is this? Amaxon Barbs. Interesting. Chameleon Skinks. Gorok leading the way. Is there a caster? Oh yeah, Heaven's Skink here on a Stegodon. Looks like that is the long-range Bolt Thrower Stegodon. Interesting choice. Cohort of Sotek. Some more horned ones and Razordons over on the far side, along with Pterodon Riders. Just, yeah, interesting builds on both sides. Definitely going with a shooting-oriented build here for A-Move Hacker. And look at this, immediately pops that effigy to get there on those Pterodon Riders. That is going to do a lot of damage. He doesn't have a lot of counter-shooting in response, but look at this. These Goblin Wolf Chariots are going to come around. They do a decent amount of missile damage. We have a look. It says 81. That's really not totally correct here, but if we actually look, yeah, they do shoot 2 times. It's only 24 total missile damage, but because they shoot 2 times, that multi-shot should have a decent effect there. It is making some contact with the Pahawk Sentinels. Obviously, their missile resistance and physical resistance do help mitigate that damage somewhat, but still pretty decent. I don't think I've ever seen Goblin Wolf Rider Chariots actually counter-skirmish Pterodons, so you see something new every day. But Pterodons are definitely paying dividends shooting at this giant here. Likewise, the... Ooh, nice, nice drop rocks of Tepok there. Yeah, look at this. Double giant, yeah, against a shooting-oriented build, going to be very interesting. A nice brain burster there, doesn't quite catch those horned ones, but a beautiful cast of the 8-peak loons. Oh man, that's going to basically delete the unit of horned ones. That's very cost-effective for the 8-peak loonies. Basically just paid for themselves doing like half HP damage to a unit of horned ones. That is more or less, you know, cost trade there. Over here on this side, these horned ones charge in, absolutely just wreck this unit of goblins. The chariots are trying to pull away and not get caught up by those horned ones. But interesting kind of trades back and forth here. The giants are going to be at risk. This is a very heavy shooting build. And look at this. The rogue idol also just getting shredded by pterodons here. It's not good for them at all. But the chariots will be charging through. Looks like they're going after Gorok. I'm not sure exactly. But the giants also going after Gorok here. That's really the only monstrous target that they can go after in this area. This is decent engagement for Black Orcs, also a decent engagement for Horned Ones. They'll kind of just massacre each other there, but the Horned Ones are going to pull away, pull back through those Chameleon Skinks. Meanwhile, over here, these Black Orcs going to get those Horned Ones in melee before they can charge. And yeah, the Skinks are falling back. Rogue Idol and the Giant pushing up and through here, along with Wurzag on foot. Here we go, getting cast. Unfortunately, a lot of those units do move out of the area of effect, but Gorok definitely took a beating there. Looks like he's going to get the FG to get now, and the Goon Squad's going to move over to try and take him out. I'm concerned, though, about this Rogue Idol. He's taking a lot of heat right now from all this missile fire, and just in general, I think actually this Lizardman build is a pretty good direct counter for what we're seeing from the Greenskins. That being said, Black Orcs trading very well there. These Black Orcs not trading so well. Horned Ones and Cohort of Sotek kind of teaming up there. Apologies. Anyway, yeah, Gorok, though, is getting absolutely destroyed by this single entity kind of blob here. And despite all the damage taken, the Rogue Idol, extra angry, extra slow now. Oh man, that brain bursted too. Yeah, that's going to immediately lead to them getting terrified just from the Rogue Idol being in the near vicinity, but definitely going to give things to A-move sort of so far. It's a bit early to call it, obviously, but the fact that he's been able to pick off both units of Black Orcs, all of the supporting infantry, basically, besides this unit of Biggins. And even then, this unit of Biggins is still struggling pretty mightily, so, yeah. Amixon Barbs able to continuously fall back, the Chameleon Skinks providing Overwatch fire as well. And all the while, Gorok is actually doing a good job in tanking all of this damage and just kind of kiting these units out here, so that's pretty good. Rest of the Greenskins army is pretty much broken, the Rogue Idol also getting kited out, and this Skink Priest here, this ballista on the back of the Stegodon, has been primarily used to shoot at the Rogue Idol, and it's such a big target, it's pretty hard to miss, to be honest. Here we go. Watch these Skink Bros take a shot. Oh yeah! Did that actually... did I actually miss? No, it hit him. Saw it bounce off there. Oh man, and the Rogue Idol's gone. Look at this direct hit. Chain Lightning? Or not Chain Lightning, whatever it's called. Uranus Thunderbolt. Not quite timed correctly, but still, that was it was an attempt. And Wurzag and the Giants still doing their best to just try and chase Gorok off at this point. There are some rallied forces over here for the Greenskins, but the Lizardmen can sweep up and around with some of their mobile units. Grazers on hunting packs, Horned Ones try and get at some of these scattered, isolated units here. So yeah, decent stuff. Very decent stuff. I like both builds. Definitely very different, but this shooting-oriented build, I'd be curious to see like a very mobile rush from the Greenskins with a lot of boars and stuff, and still obviously with the right targets to take out the dinos, but I would think that that would be a little bit better against this kind of shooting army, because the shooting the shooting for the Lizardmen, really, it's not fast enough to get away from light cavalry of the Greenskins. You definitely can get some good work done there. Nice Randon's Thunderbolt placement. Oh man, I thought it was actually going to hit one of those Pahawk Sentinels. Makes me a little sad. But they actually come in for a rear charge here, try and rout off some of these units. Cohort of Sotek also rushing in. It's basically just the heroes and the giants left, right? Borok is going to get chased off, but the fact that he's still alive, pretty important. Good stuff. At least for the Lizardmen. Ha ha ha. Borok is happy to flee away and let his massive shooting horde of lizards finish off these giants here. One of them straight up falls over. The other one getting absolutely gatted. Just shredded by those Razordons there. Razordons are such a good unit, man. If you can keep them safe. Not the biggest fan of that Amazon Barbs. Think their poison is kind of a waste, but it's cool. You know, it's kind of deep. Not like you don't already have poison, but yeah, Wurzag's still fighting somehow. He's going to give up the fight, and that will be it. GG. Well played. A-Move going to take the cake there. I mean, big props to Wiki. He took a heroic build. 2 Wolf Chariots, 2 Giants, Hogue Idol, Dance, and Wurzag. Man, you guys got to give him a round of applause for this build. Definitely both fun and different types of builds compared to what you would typically see, but I like it quite a bit. Both proved to be effective, so fun stuff. Yeah, you could try and get into a shooting fight. Oh, what happened? Where did he go? Okay, let me get him lined up, and then for the next one, we've got Storm Runner, so let me get him on deck. Alright, let's get things going here. Give me just a second, guys. Okay, and I'm back. Still waiting on A-Move to pop back in, but yeah, be getting some more games. Oh man, been playing with some mods recently on some older historical titles. I'm thinking might start up a campaign series, like a recorded campaign series on one of the historical games. Eventually. Grimgore? Yeah, for real. You really want to get kited, you gotta have Grimgore, right? Oh, looks like I might need to rehost the lobby if A-Move can't join. Nope, looks like he's good. Awesome. So, we'll go to Bloodpine Woods next. Alright. Which historical games? Shogun Total War, I've been playing Shogun 2. And Empire I've been playing a little bit of recently, and those are the two I'm kind of debating between. Just recently, for the first time actually, tried Darth Mod for Empire, and specifically like a sub-mod that lets you play as some of the minor factions. Really very interesting. So, I'm thinking probably that one, just to satisfy my powder addiction. Play an Empire campaign. Maybe we'll do one of the cool sub-factions like Venice, or like Denmark is pretty cool also. Yeah, there's a few of the sub-factions that could be cool. Portugal. Hey Zach, wait, good to see you. Been a minute. Med 2 music playing right now. Yeah, Med 2 music is pretty good. And Med 2 itself, that's another one too. Stainless Steel is another mod I've been playing. Kind of an overhaul mod for Med 2. Super good. Very fun. Good. Yeah, it's a good one. Empire Total War, there's a lot of interesting factions and ways to play that game. The theater system in that game, for those of you guys who've never played it, like, you can kind of move between the Americas, like Europe, North Africa, Mediterranean area, and then like India, all as separate theaters. Then there are also these trade theaters that are accessible basically only to navies. And if you have certain trade ships, you can like sit on these trade nodes and have these big naval battles. As it pertains to Total War, Warhammer, I do think it'd be pretty cool in Game 3 if they had a system to kind of break things up, just so that you know, it doesn't, not quite so resource intensive, but you'd have like these sea zones that you would sail to maybe travel between like the New World and the Old World, or you know. If we do end up going south into some of the other, you know, areas, then you could, and like, for example, right now on Mortal Empires, you can't get around from the Southlands. Like from where Malice starts, you have that Black Ark fleet down there that eventually becomes completely useless, like once you conquer the area around that kind of South Sea area, right? So just having the teleportation paths for one thing, where you could get from one side to the other, would be great. And then just in general, having the theater system where you can kind of travel between the different maps makes the game a little bit less resource intensive from what I understand, and it's also I don't know, just kind of adds that extra layer of grand strategy flavor. Yeah, Shogun 2 is fun. I've been playing a Mori campaign, like the naval-focused guys, Because again, that game also has trade nodes on the map that you can sit on if you have naval units. And, you know, as the Mori, you can just dominate the seas, right? And get on those trade nodes and make a ton of money. Yeah, the world feels massive, for sure, for sure. That's why playing somebody like the Dutch, for example, where you start out with just small holdings in all three, you know, theaters of war, so to speak, is very interesting. Can be very, very fun. The Portuguese also, that's one of the sub-factions I'm actually strongly considering playing. Which faction would I say is my favorite? In Empire Total War, it's hard to say. Austria is pretty fun just because you get death stacks of infantry, like you have more infantry, right? At least in the vanilla game. Yeah, I don't know. Probably Russia, honestly, because I like Cossacks. Yeah, in Shogun, probably I'm gonna have to go with. Have to think about that one. Probably Otomo, because I like gunpowder. Like things that go boom in the night. Mori's fun though, for sure. I've been enjoying that Mori campaign. What would you guys want to see, though, is the real question. If I were to play a historical game, maybe I'll make a poll. What would you guys like to see? Should I play Shogun 2? Should I play Rome 2? Should I play Empire? Should I play maybe like Fall of the Samurai or something different? Let me know. Flaming tacos. Is Civ a historical game? Yeah. I might do some recorded Civ campaigns as well. That is another thing I've been playing a bit of. With the new update. I love the new disaster mode. Some of the new like natural disasters that can happen are awesome. And yeah, the new mode where it's just like, if you hit the highest level of global warming, then just everyone dies basically over the course of the rest of the game. Play them all. There we go. Takeda. Yeah, Takeda's cool. Heavy cavalry for sure. Definitely a fan of heavy and light cavalry, of course. Light cavalry, actually, the light cav in Shogun 2 is really good. It's a high charge bonus. I can hear, I might have dropped a couple frames right there, but I think we're okay. I see a Malekith stat card. I see a Malekith with Power of Darkness, Doombolt, and Soul Stealer. So a pretty heavy kit then with Destroyer. Looks like he does not have the Dragon Breath, although he does cause fear. He has anti-infantry, so I'm guessing Lizard Limo here from the Dark Elves. Let's have a look. Lizard Limo with Master also on the Lizard Limo. 2 units of Lizard Limos, so just going all in on the luxury Lizard limousines with only 1 wheel, because that's just how it rolls for some reason. Let's not ask too many questions. Got some spearmen up front, a couple of dark shards with shields, and harpies with the Karens of Cain. Pretty decent stuff. As for the Dwarfs, I'd imagine Rune Lord, interesting choice. Dragonback Slayers, another unit of Slayers. Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, along with long beards. And some Rangers. Miners with blasting charges up front. So just kind of regular stuff. Bolt Thrower. Nice wide dwarf build, a couple Thunderers. Ulthar's Raiders, yeah, Bugman's regular Rangers. It's a dwarf build. Only a dwarf build. Oh yeah, Kyle. Oh yeah. that game is the most addictive. It is the hell of a drug. Civilizations is a hell of a drug. Flaming Tacos is Flying Taco's cousin who loves spicy food. Just loves spicy food. Yeah, fun stuff. I need to go through and check. I didn't really look too deeply at the patch notes for Civ. See if any of the other base factions got any changes, but let's see what we got over here. Ah, some Dark Riders with repeater crossbows in Vanguard. That's pretty wild. Gonna come in from the rear and give them the business. You know how it is. And they're off. Here we go. Bolt throwers going to be lining up their shots here, probably going immediately after the Lizard Limos, which are in fact in range. And this one even has some serious chevrons if we have a look here. That's pretty interesting. Also got the Karens. Going to be pretty good for tying down dwarf units. They're not going to do too much damage, although the yeah, 44 weapon strength is okay. Okay, let's see. Old One Chariots taking some bolts on the side. They're gonna, it looks like, use some of their ammo to actually shoot the miners here. That's an interesting choice, just kind of picking away at a distance. The Dark Shards move up, start to shred one of these units of miners. That's pretty good stuff. One of the units of Dwarf Warriors also pretty well out of position. And here comes the sneaky Dark Rider attack. Thunderers are going to turn and return fire. That's not great for the Dark Riders. They're definitely not going to take just a pitched skirmish engagement against Thunderers. That's really bad for them. But the blasting charge is definitely being felt despite them taking crossbow fire. I can't believe I just forgot the... I'm like, what is this music in the background? I mean, the Med 2 music is chill, don't get me wrong. But, yeah. Anyway, I feel like the game is also kind of quiet. Let me boost up the volume here, just one tick. There we go. Karens of Cain coming down, or just the regular Harpies rather, to tie down these Rangers. Make sure they can't continue to fire. More blasting charges going in on the infantry there. And yeah, Malekith and his Lizard Limos, so far I'm surprised. They haven't deployed into melee. They really need to be getting in here. And while these skirmish units are being tied down, they could be absolutely running shop on all of these infantry here. These Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, miners with blasting charges in particular, all don't have charge defense. They're going to be very vulnerable targets here. So let's see. Looks like the Lizard Limos are going to start to deploy. Meanwhile, the Dark Shards, a little bit blobbed up, need to kind of spread out and start to fire into those Dwarf Warriors, but Chariots making their presence felt. Malekith on a drive-by. Starts to roll through. There are some Slayers here. These are not the Dragonbacks, though. They're not going to be doing any kind of slowing effects or anything. Oh yeah, nice attack from Malekith there. Meanwhile, the Master doing the same over on the far side. Bolt Thrower is throwing bolts, but not doing too much damage for the time being. Where did that second unit of Lizard Limos go? There's no way they got taken down already, right? I would find that pretty hard to believe, but maybe that is the case. But yeah, skirmish units taking a lot of damage here. The bolt throwers keeping online is good. You can see this master takes a lot of damage here from some up-close fire. Over on the foreground, the repeater crossbows starting to chew at some of those longbeards, but at the same time, you can see very quickly that the Dark Elves are starting to run out of steam here, and this master just got rezzed, absolutely just massacred by those Ulthar's Raiders. I believe that marked by Ulthar probably had something to do with that, but the absolutely devastating fire from those Bugman's Rangers. Bugman's Rangers are also going to be decent at fighting. Actually, these two together, it's interesting because the Ulthar's Raiders will do some armor-piercing damage in melee, while the Bugman's Rangers have pretty good mass charge defense. Likewise, the Slayers are also following up here, so pretty good situation for a move. He's able to comfortably kind of take the lead on the balance of power here, stay in control of the pace of the battle, which is not always easy as Dwarfs, but it looks like we're going to have another volley of blasting charges here. Come on, boys, let them loose. See what you got. Oh, yeah. Did I mention I like things that go boom? Love that. Absolutely wrecks those poor Dread Spears who are just having a bad time in general. The fact that the Dark Shards are still online is pretty surprising. They're able to continue to fire into these various great weapon units. It's some pretty effective damage, but at this point, I mean, they are only 33 speed. I guess most of these Dwarf infantry are like 28, right? So if they kited now, they could get away, but the Dwarfs hit their charge animation. They're going to continue charging, obviously. And yeah, the last of the Lizard Limos gets blown up there. Now it's just Malekith. Yeah, the best thing to do with blasting charges is to try and get them like on a side or rear charge before they throw their blasting charges. That way you can prevent them from throwing. Definitely pretty tough, but Gaze of Malice there gets a good chunk of those Slayers. Man, that was some solid damage on those Dragonback Slayers, but the Bolt Thrower and all of these ranged units now have a beautiful crossfire on Malekith, the Thunderers, all the Rangers, and everything else. Ulthar's Raiders as well, throwing their mark on the Witch King here. And oh man, look at that Bolt Thrower. Man, good shot, just right into the heart of one of those cold ones. Man, solid shot there. And that's game. A-move going to be taking a second one, so I totally forgot about my overlay that I made last night just for this specifically, but let's go ahead and put that up. And current king is A-move. Oh, you guys can't see that. There we go. And has a score of now 2 wins. Very nice. And let's go ahead and get the next competitor. Looks like A-move crashed again, no worries. Park map in here, and then next up after park map, we've got King of the Dead. Okay, just checking some things here on the side. Sorry, give me just a second. Okay. I'll not forget to turn the music off this time, I promise. Go ahead and refresh this, because my stream preview's struggling. Kind of hilarious in many ways. Alright, hey, I see the donation. Looks like, unfortunately, it did not actually... Did it pull up the alert and I just didn't see? Let me see. It should have pulled up an alert here. Let me look at this thing here. Just a second. Visible? It is visible. Okay. Because it should have done this. And I didn't hear that. Did it pull up with that? Anyway, thanks, Tamanten. Much appreciated. Ever generous as always. Huh. Sounds interesting. I did not see the alert. I mean, it shows here 10 minutes ago? Okay. Alright, alright. Let me go ahead and get the next map locked in. It came up. Oh, I must have not noticed. It did come up. Oh yeah, the noise is kind of quiet on my end. I must not have noticed because of that. That's funny. Well, good to know it works. Okay. Alright, he's gonna go with Wood Elves, Band, Bretonnia, and High Elves. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, not the sound. Interesting, okay. For whatever reason, the sound didn't work. Well. Nope, not that one. Yeah, well, it's all good. Just a tiny video, just a little Green Knight. Have the Warcraft 2 Paladin sound effect to go with him, just because, I don't know, it seems appropriate somehow. I haven't really messed with this Streamlabs thing too much. Definitely wanna mess around with it some more and see what else I can do. Oh, we can do even like a chat box, donation goal. Interesting. Tip ticker. Sub goal. I might have to mess around with some of these for future streams. No more 30% dear YouTube. Yes. Will I do a replay review later? Not today. I do have a triple cast coming out tomorrow though, where we go over some replays. So yeah, I am thinking I might try and do a community replay roundup stream. Probably not this week, but next week maybe. So I'll put out a call maybe like 3 or 4 days before for replays. We'll do a replay stream. That could be fun. Yes, yes, yes. Alright, looks like these guys are just about ready. Empire versus Wood Elves. Always a fun time. Empire getting out their Knights of the Blazing Sun, Kindle Flame, Empire, Banner of Eternal Flame as well, you know, Volkmar, all the fire stuff. Very pertinent. Let's see what they got. Go ahead and fade out the Med 2 music. Thank you very much, Med 2 soundtrack, once again. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these things are Twitch only. I'm just looking through these Streamlabs widgets right now. Look at some of the possibilities I could add to make the stream a little bit more interactive. I don't want it to be too much stuff on, like, crowding up the screen, especially for when we're trying to watch games. But it is what it is. Okay, yeah, I could even do like a different style of overlay for streaming. I like for Total War Warhammer streaming at least, I like having a nice open screen, as much visual space as possible, because the scale of the battles is so massive, right? So, yep, good stuff. Go ahead and refresh that there, and let's have a look at the builds here for the Empire. We've got Balthazar Gelt, who I've been seeing quite a bit of lately. Spearman up front. Second line of Empire Knights. Holy heavy cavalry. Yes, park map. This is what we wanted to see. Whole bunch of Empire Knights. We've got, what, 3 Empire Knights, 4 Empire Knights, Reiksguard, Knights of the Blazing Sun, Spearmen, Pistoliers. Yes. Look at these lads. Look at that face. That is the face of courage right there. Honor. Loyalty. Oh, he's gone. Anyway, let's have a look at the Wood Elves. I would expect, yep, we've got 3 Way Watchers, Way Stalker, along with Sisters of Thorn, Wild Riders. Do like to pick up the Ancient Tree Man in this matchup quite a bit. Winterheart Guards, interesting choice. Unbreakable Eternal Guards. We've got more Eternal Guards here with shields, some low X Tricksters as well. So let's see. This is going to be an interesting one. Heavy cavalry, right? Heavy and light cavalry. Yeah, true that. Not giving 30% to YouTube, I am down with, for sure. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it makes me feel good when I see my YouTube income high. But I would much rather just have the money, you know? Oh, yeah. All the heavy cavalry. It's a beaut. Let's see what we got here. Waystalker already pouring some shots, and look at that Arrow of Kurnos right off the bat. Double Arrow of Kurnos on Balthazar Gelt. He tries to dodge, but he takes a decent amount of damage from that, about a third of his HP there, so he's going to need to be careful throughout the course of the battle. But you can see also these Way Watchers come forward here. They're going to start firing. Are they shooting, what, Pistoliers or Empire Knights? Probably Empire Knights, I would imagine. But Park Map needs to roll back. Yep, roll back this flank. Roll forward this flank and kind of square up here. Start to push these heavy cavalry through. Even like these 5 heavy cavalry, 6 heavy cavalry right here could just straight pressure right up the pocket here. There's really, you know, not enough to protect these Way Watchers, ultimately from that many numbers. So he does kind of have to wait until he can bring the house. Like getting a little bit forward with these Empire Knights here, potentially a little dangerous, but Taking it on the chin with the Pistoliers honestly isn't so bad. These Empire Knights, again though, you need to be careful that they don't come in here piecemeal. Definitely want to try and bring them all in together if possible. Over here on this side, these Pistoliers, Empire Knights moving up over here. So yeah. See what they got. Empire Knights. What are these? Yeah, just regular Empire Knights. The Knights Blazing Sun are the ones kind of being held back here, as are the Reiksguard, which, you know, makes sense. They're a little bit more expensive. Yeah. Let's see what we got. Spearmen moving up. Spearmen with shields also moving up. So the state troops are trying to get involved in melee as soon as they can, which obviously makes sense. Just tie down as much of these Eternal Guards and various other, you know, Elven Spearmen as you can. Get those heavy cavalry moving. Actually haven't got any melee engagements so far, but here come the Reiksguard and other units starting to push up and around. The Way Watchers, though, at this point are making their presence felt. These Empire Knights really need to just push on straight through. Looks like they're going double in on the Wild Riders. The Wild Riders get Flesh to Stone. Very interesting choice, putting them up to 100 armor. It's actually very good use of that there as they engage those Empire Knights. Otherwise would have decisively won that engagement, but actually Wild Riders able to hold there. Interesting. Probably the best use of Flesh to Stone I've ever seen. But eventually there is going to be a hole here. These Sisters of Thorn, although they do pop the Curse of Honrair, they're still going to take that charge. Those Empire Knights will do decent damage. Knights of Blazing Sun busting through as well. They're going to just delete these Way Watchers, whatever models they do catch. Yeah, look at that damage just from one charge there. These Wild Riders, who had won this fight over here, are going to immediately push up and around. There's kind of a second wave here of Knights and Pistoliers. And Balthazar also throws a final transmutation here on these Wild Riders. The fact that it catches the Way Watchers as well, because they're low model count, low HP relatively units, that is going to absolutely wreck them as well. So a very nice final transmutation from Balthazar. It still seems like A-Move is pulling ahead once again on the balance of power, though. Despite everything, there's, you know, one Way Watcher shut down, almost two, but these Loix Tricksters are still very healthy. And the fact that the Ancient Tree Man also is still very healthy, there's not a lot to take him out, but a beautiful charge there. Those Tattered Empire Knights just hammering in. Likewise, the Pistoliers can shoot at any of these high-value, low armor units. They're going to be able to generate really nice value. Sisters of Thorn finally getting crushed here by multiple heavy cavalry units. So even the Empire heavy cavalry that is very tattered can be effective in the late game. And here you can see Park Map is holding one of these Knights of the Blazing Sun in the late game. Two of them even to be able to cycle charge that Ancient Tree Man once it comes down to it. So very good play on both sides there. Empire able to claw their way somewhat on the balance of power here. And again, these Pistoliers, very effective DPS into the side of the Eternal Guards there. Honestly, probably throw at the Loix Tricksters once those two effects wear off. Another Flesh to Stone there. And it looks like another final transmutation also going to be used on them. It will, again, just tear away unit models. The Scroll of Shielding helps resist some of that damage, but certainly it will be a good amount. Man, that Flesh to Stone lasts for so long. That's crazy. These Knights of Blazing Sun, they'll come out and try and finish off these Tattered Way Watchers. The Empire Knights here kind of staying over long in this engagement, but now peeling out to start supporting various melee engagements. A really nice Arab Kurnos on Balthazar. He's barely hanging on at this point. Very little HP left, but Way Watchers here are shattered. A few more out here that are about to get just walloped. Same thing right here. Oh man, love that beautiful multi-charge by Pistoliers and Empire Knights, smashing those silly Elves and just laying their leaves on the ground. You know, probably what they deserve, to be honest. This is the thing about even the Loix Tricksters too. I mean, expensive light armor units, if they get rear charged by cheaper shock cavalry, that's just bad. It's really, really bad. At this point, Park Map's going to take a pretty decisive advantage on the balance of power, as he does still have these reserve of Knights of the Blazing Sun that have taken basically no damage. They're going to be able to continuously cycle charge in the late game here. Once all the infantry support is gone, even if Balthazar's gone, you know, he's already done his thing. That final transmutation, honestly, was probably enough to pay for himself. And yeah, Pistoliers can continue to get a little bit of Overwatch fire. It looks like Power Stone being used. Ancient Tree Man trying to pull up his Winds of Magic as much as he can. Loix Tricksters still fighting tooth and nail. They're all kinds of scattered out to the winds here. Yes, this will be uploaded to YouTube. Absolutely, yep. So, looking good for the Empire here. As long as they can stay calm, finish off these heroes, the Waystalkers, and the Ancient Tree Man should be decent. I think actually Pistoliers could focus on the Waystalkers. That might be the right move for them. But certainly nice cycle charging here with Knights of the Blazing Sun finishing off the last of these Eternal Guards. And the Tree Man, of course, taking continuous hits from the Spearmen. Look at that. Overwatch from the Pistoliers. That's what we like to see. Let's get in close. Watch these lads pop their dual pistols. Give it a volley. There we go, lads. Beautiful. Just focusing on the Tree Man, which, you know, through volume of fire, they'll be able to do consistent damage to him. Sandwiched elves. Yeah, it's true. I'm just jealous of how good-looking elves are because I'm a filthy human. Earthblood. This Tree Man's definitely not going down without a fight. Somehow, yeah, I was going to say, somehow those Eternal Guards are still fighting, but yeah, it's actually the Winterheart Guards. They're unbreakable. Makes sense. Good, good, good. Great use of Pistoliers. This is a matchup where Pistoliers definitely can perform well as long as you can keep them from getting countershot too hard. Oh yeah, sorry, my cat's distracting me momentarily. Gets crunked by a 21-year-old human with a lance, right? Or even worse, like a 17-year-old with a pistol. Just shot in the head. Oh, how embarrassing. Spent all your life training with the bow, and then some boy on a stupid pony rolls up with 2 pistols and just blasts you in the face. Pop, pop. Not enough Tree Mans. Oh yeah, clearly. I actually do like the Tree Man Ancient here. And that use of the Flesh to Stone was excellent. Fortunately, it just wasn't quite enough at the end of the day. This is a pretty hard matchup from what I've found. Wood Elves, yeah, they have a hard time against the heavy cavalry factions if they bring a certain critical mass of heavy cavalry, and Empire definitely can. So with that, park map swaps. I can talk, I swear. Swaps onto the current king. And yeah, whoops, not that. Here we go. Go ahead and get this in here. And do that, and then over here we'll switch to park map. Oh, looks like I need to adjust that slightly. There we go. Okay. Looking good. What did A-Move have? Did he have 3 at the end of the day? Or was that his second? I am just that much of a potato, I can't even remember. Yeah, okay, that's right. Okay, we're good. We're good. Go ahead and queue up the next competitor here, King of the Dead. Make sure he's on deck there. Cool. Well, Aristo, maybe that's on purpose. Maybe I'm blocking the balance of power on purpose. And you don't need to see the tactical map. Come on. Yeah, no one needs to see that. Just kidding. No, I will probably adjust it for next time. I can actually bring that King of the Hill down just slightly. There's not a lot I can do about blocking the tactical map. But I guess I could move the whole thing over to the side, but it's just going to look so awkward, like hanging out there all by itself in the middle. But I could make sure that the King of the Hill is not blocking the balance of power. I can do that. Okay, let me change the map also. Let's go to, actually, we'll do Big Pass. Watch the game on the tactical map. Oh yeah, because no one wants to see the beautiful unit models in motion. That's not what we're here for. Keeps you in suspense. There we go, exactly. I remember, I think Party Elite actually, if I remember right, used to cover his in his replays. Alright, moving right along today. That's good. I wasn't planning on streaming for too long. We've only got 3 more competitors after this, so it's going to be a relatively quick stream. Just, you know, about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. Alright. Looks like Italian Spartacus is rounding up some lads for some arena, captain mode rather, on Bannerlord. Haven't played that for a while. Alright. Go ahead and just ready up so these guys can start when ready. Yeah, he got all the details. It was I can't imagine how much work that is, especially knowing, like, from the content creator side, how much goes into that. It's really intense. Personally, for me, I didn't really watch his videos that much because it was a little too slow. Like, I found that, especially in really, like, intense battles, it would take so long because he would slow down very often to make sure he didn't miss anything, which, I mean, is good. He's catching all of the details. You're not missing anything. But for me, it just, like, slowed down the pace of the battle a little bit too much, and so I didn't really watch his content all that much, but that's just me. You know, that's my own personal taste. Nothing against him, of course, but... One of the things about my casting is I try not to slow down too much, unless, like, on some of my tactics videos that I've recorded, some of the ones that I've uploaded, and some of the ones that I haven't yet that are going to be coming out later this week. I do slow things down in a few of the different fights to kind of specifically talk about some different things, but yeah, like, typically I consciously want to cast at full speed because I want you guys, especially if you guys are watching these videos to try and get tips to learn the game, to improve yourself, I want you to see the speed the game is played at, right? And to understand, like, the speed of this decision making sometimes, like how things can happen, and just the pace of everything, how frantic it can feel at times. I want to represent that as it is, so that you guys know what to expect, you know, to a degree. But that is a very conscious decision on my part. Back in the day, I used to slow down a lot more, but nowadays, I mean, I like to keep it moving as much as I can. And speaking of keeping it moving, let's go ahead and just double check this here. Alright, alright. Yeah, looks like yesterday's video is doing pretty good. Pretty happy about that. Oh, looks like they're ready for me. Let's get this going. Now, we're moving right along through today's battles. I like that. No technical issues. So far, at least. Knock on wood. Okay, here we are in game. That Med 2 music. Man, that track. Yeah. Total War has to have a battle analysis similar to what you see football post-match analyses. Yeah, like specific plays. I've thought about that, like doing a breakdown, like key plays at the end of the game, and do like an instant replay, especially with the telestration tools, where I can like pause, like give a breakdown of what exactly happened, especially if I missed it during the cast. For me, it's just like my videos don't make enough money, and maybe if I did that, you know, I would actually, my videos would get more views. So maybe it's worth a try, and maybe I'll do that at some point soon. But generally for me, my battle replays typically don't get enough views for me to justify putting in the time for something like that. But yeah, I definitely, for sure, like the American Pro Football, like instant replays, especially with the telestration tools, they show you like, okay, these guys are going to block down here, then this guy's going to go over here. And yeah, something like that I think would be great. Hey, Anti-Mage, good to see you, man. Hey, you got here just in time for some Bretonnia. How about that timing, huh? We got Fey Enchantress here. Park map going to be taking the Bretonnians against, oh man, Vampire Coast. This should be interesting. I'd imagine Green Knight. Yeah, we got Bretonnia and the Green Knight here. Looks like Spearmen at Arms with shields. We got Knights Errant, Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis. Giant line of Pox arrows, some fire arrows mixed in. Battle Pilgrims, Men at Arms. Some Mounted Yeoman Archers also, so going very heavy in the range department. As for the coast, King of the Dead here, definitely a very strong undead player. Got 2 Scurvy Dogs. Looks like Nocti Boy up on his thingy. Got the Shade Wraith Gunners, very good in this matchup. A whole bunch of Bombers. I know King of the Dead's a huge fan of them. We've got 2. Yeah, another regular deck gunner, I guess I should say. But 1 Rotting Promethean, a couple Pole Arms. What are those? Carronades? Cannons? Mortars, interesting. Mortars are an interesting choice. I would have thought we'd see cannons, carronades, definitely, but... Yep, Fey Enchantress is actually, I'd call her on foot. She's not really on foot, she's sort of floating gracefully above the ground, waving her arms about in a magical fashion, because that's what you do when you float in the air. I think this is the same animation as the Spell Singers have, come to think of it. Very graceful. The knee, having the knee raised is the key component of this stance. You look at it, the fact that her knee is raised and slightly to the right makes this whole thing operate. Just so you know. Anyway, we've got some dogs moving up off the top of the hill. Mounted Yeomen are probably going to go skirmish the dogs right off the bat. And Green Knight does reveal himself immediately. He has to be careful. The main magic damage component of the army Vampire Coast is the Shade Wraith Gunners. So basically, if Park Map can take out the Shade Wraith Gunners, then the Green Knight should be able to operate with relative impunity. Now, would have loved to have seen Blessed Field Trebuchets actually here. Would have been a direct, hard counter to the Shade Wraith Gunners. And if you are running a Green Knight build, you know, this is one way you can deal with that. So, Noctilus firing into the woods here really isn't making solid contact at all on the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis there. Yeah, so if you raise your knee, you can fly. Yes, that's correct. Crane stance. Pretty good stuff. The Shade Wraith Gunners will use their leadership effect to just about rout off those mounted yeoman archers, but they are going to pull away there and continue firing into those hounds and stuff. Meanwhile, over on this side, these mounted yeoman archers are in range to move up and actually just start shooting the deck gunners if they want to. They can just straight up take out those deck gunners in a big hurry because they're so squishy. But here, it looks like the archers are going to pull up into range. I don't know if ParkMap should really rush in here too much and try and take out these various units in melee. He can just kind of sit back and play off of his archers to a degree, but here, a little bit of a disaster. These scurvy dogs get into his line, and a late response from the Knights Errant, not able to get there in time to chase those dogs off. Meanwhile, Shade Wraith Gunners taking pot shots at the Green Knight there, not really doing too much damage, but those dogs were able to more or less get free real estate, but now going to get sandwiched by the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, or at the very least pushed away. Pushed into the Fey Enchantress? No, they still do rout off several of those gunners there. Likewise, the deck gunners, or sorry, the bowmen. The deck gunners getting pushed off. You can see a pistol summon here, though, going to do a ton of damage to the mounted yeoman archers. Yeah, I think King of the Dead is more than happy to just kind of take this engagement for the time being. Trying to pull these scurvy dogs away from this formation so he can take them out. This unit of scurvy dogs is basically done for, having been completely sacrificed here. For a worthy cause, definitely, though, and it looks like one of the mounted yeomen here was already broken. Another one now being broken by the pistol mobs, and the mounted yeomen, or sorry, the men-at-arms here running in to fight the pistol mobs in melee. They're going to take some serious damage from the bombers. Same thing with these men-at-arms here. ParkMap getting pretty aggressive, going after them. And this is potentially bad here. These Knights Errant can get caught on the charge. Oh man, that leadership debuff as well. Really nice side-shotting fire from the Shade Wraith Gunners. Things are not looking great right off the bat from, I mean, let's say right off the bat. We've already been fighting for close to 4 minutes. But yeah, things are just not looking great for Bretonnia right now. This line from the Vampire Coast definitely super solid. And the lack of trebuchets, I think, is definitely going to come back to haunt Bretonnia. You can see the Holy Wardens of Lemaisenthal getting in. They should be able to get a charge on some of the bombers. Thankfully, the bombers are starting to be worn away. But the Knights Errant, they're losing out to the Scurvy Dogs. Is an absolute disaster. Nice Awakening of the Wood will do a good amount of damage to the Shade Wraith Gunners, but not completely rout them off. But yeah, here come the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis as well. Not sure exactly where the Green Knight's trying to go, but oh, nice comment from the Fey Enchantress. Does a lot of damage to those gunnery mobs there. Now just pushing straight up through the center. You can see the Holy Wardens pushing through. A nice charge from the defenders. The Green Knight doing what he needs to and getting after Count Noctilus here, trying to take him out in melee. Got some more various peasant units coming back from rout. I'm not really sure what the Fey Enchantress is up to either. I guess she's here draining out these zombie units, which is nice. Using that mortis, good effect there. But the Green Knight kind of gets zoned here by the crabs, unfortunately, and Noctilus able to Evil Cackle escape, and the Bretonian units just having such a hard time holding their leadership together because of the Shade Wraith Gunners and the leadership effect, and because of the fact they have just terrible leadership in general. But I really think just like trebuchets, man, blessed field trebuchets. Oh yeah, Anti-Mage, definitely an absolute legend. Things are looking dicey for Bretonnia. I guess it's okay, though. They can still come back in this fight as long as the Fey Enchantress is alive. That being said, the Fey Enchantress is kind of getting stepped on by Count Noctilus here. The Green Knight is nowhere to be found. If he can peel away from these zombies, kind of pull around and start to fight Noctilus in melee, that'll be ideal. This bombardment will do quite a bit of damage to him, though. Yeah, pretty good stuff. But he really needs to pull up and away and get back at Count Noctilus. Fey Enchantress going to throw a regrowth on herself. Oh no, she gets staggered, so it doesn't have to actually go off. ParkMap, I'm not sure if he noticed that. Does need to reapply that effect there. Doesn't look like he's going to in time, though. And Bretonnia will hit critical army losses, so yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. And I almost, again, wonder, like, 3 to 4 trebuchets, although it sounds crazy in this matchup. If you want to counter the Shade Wraith Gunners, then you definitely bring Blessed Field trebuchets. Fun stuff, though. It was an attempt by Park Map, so we're going to go ahead and swap him out for King of the Dead. Let's see if King of the Dead can catch up. All right, all right. GG indeed. Let's see here. Up next. I believe I already sent him a message here. Yep, Poppy Skrill. And then after him, we'll have Malverde. Man, Shade Wraith Gunners are probably one of the worst units in the game, in my opinion. But they did something there. Definitely did something there. Let's go ahead and get a map. Let's do Troll Country, because why not? It's a nice small map. Okay, I might need to do some friend code shenanigans here, so let's pull this up. Okay. It's over here. There we go. Friend request received. We can get this here. All right. Cool. We've got a couple battles. Got a couple battles left. Ooh. Oh man, I'm getting tired. I need a nap. Let me put up the music. Yeah, the leadership damage is definitely pretty legit, and that's kind of, I mean, you bring the Shade Wraith Gunners either for the leadership effect or for the magic damage, right? Because they're just not that great of a unit, to be honest, outside of those two things. But, I mean, like, one Blessed Field Trebuchet Volley will basically destroy them, or like two, I think. I'd have to test it out. Maybe it's not that good, but I think they'll probably go down to like two Blessed Field Trebuchet Volleys, so if you kind of think about that matchup, like, okay, the Green Knight is a key component for me to win. One of the main counter units they could bring is the Shade Wraith Gunners, and they're also going to be a big problem for my Peasant tier units. So definitely want to get rid of them. I'd say at least like two Blessed Field Trebuchets is probably almost always a good idea. You can just do DPS to the zombies anyway. And because you can definitely play forward and win mobility, then, you know, you're not too limited to kind of staying stationary to the trebuchets. You can push forward. I've never really played Dota personally. Like, I played Dota a little bit when it was a Warcraft 3 mod, like way back in the day, when, you know, before there was ever any official Dota games, right? Like, I played that one, but honestly, that wasn't my favorite of the custom kind of MOBAs that existed during that time. Actually preferred some of the other ones, and those ones didn't end up getting made into games, probably because they were based on existing IPs, like Legend of Zelda. But, where was I going with this? Yeah, no, I never really played Dota, League of Legends, even like Heroes of the Storm I never really played. Oh yeah, Grail Reliquates are mandatory against undead factions. Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree on that. Yeah, leadership of the Knights could be a little bit better. I mean, the Knights Errant, because they're the lowest tier, I would expect them to have maybe not the best leadership in the world. But let's see what we got here. Go ahead and fade the music back. Yeah, Warcraft, the back in the day, man, when that Warcraft modding scene was at its height, that was like a golden age of gaming in many ways. Just like, that's where the whole MOBA genre comes from, to be honest, is like that modding kit. It really defined a lot of different things, and to be honest, you can tell Blizzard is still salty that they missed out on the Dota train, because if you look at the license agreement for the new the Warcraft Reforged like creation kit, whatever, it has a lot more strict of a license agreement. Like, you can't import third-party IP stuff. You can't like, they own basically everything you make and upload. But anyway, let's go ahead and have a look at these here builds. Looks like we've got double Runesmith. No, Runesmith and Grombrindal, actually. Also some Dwarf Warriors, kind of a defensive geometry here. Dwarf Warriors, Thunderers. We've got one Brimstone gun, some blasting charges here, cannons. As for Norska, I would expect, and we have a rush build. Some Ice Trolls, we've got Marauders, Ice Horns up front, Mammoth, Manticore here, and over on the side, a bunch of Chariots. Two character chariots, Wolfric and the Metal Mage, and it looks like, is that an Ice Wolf? Nope, just a regular Marauder chariot. Good stuff. Oh, and the Deep Vanguard, of course, of 3 units of Hounds. I might be a good Dota player, perhaps. I'm decent at Call of Duty, actually. I have been playing Call of Duty Warzone. I really was never into the Battle Royale style games. But recently, actually, because Warzone is crossplay, I have been playing that a bit, so that's fun. I have been streaming that on Twitch, by the way, guys. If you do want to catch me streaming some Warzone on Twitch, I probably will be streaming some late tonight, U.S. time. We'll see what time I'm starting. Probably like 9:30 U.S. Mountain Time. But this formation looks pretty good. Quite the deployment. It's a nice pentagon here, 5-sided geometry. And it looks like the Brimstone guns are immediately going to go after the Manticore. That is a risky play if they force it to enrage by accident. The Brimstone guns also do fire damage, so I almost wonder, I think he probably should be shooting at the Ice Trolls, because the Ice Trolls do have so much weakness to fire, rather. He could probably just be one-shotting unit models pretty efficiently there. Maybe not one-shotting per se, but... Oh, looks like we've got a little bit of a misplay there. These Thunderers are trying to make their way up, and looks like, yeah, it was supposed to be a shooting order, unfortunately, but because of like the hill targeting there, you can see as he pulls back over the lip, we'll pull the Thunderers away, but a big old charge right in the center here, a big push with all the Chariots coming through, trying to disrupt and get into this offensive position here. You can see, though, the cannons doing quite a bit of work, tearing away at those Norscan Ice Trolls, but it really should have been shooting at the Chariots, probably, because the Chariots can't heal, obviously, and especially when they're, like, this close, like, just straight up put an attack order on Wolfric right there. If they can get a volley with all 3 shots, they could almost one-shot him Not quite, but it looks like instead it's still going after the ice trolls there. The melee engagement underway. The hounds, thankfully, were pushed back. So the harass kind of being taken away for the time being. So these missiles, once they can disengage, will be able to start firing. Yeah, definitely want to start focusing on the mammoth if you can. Or, again, the chariots will be also very, very important. Grombrindle, not sure where he got off to. Looks like he's chasing the mammoth down. Chariot's doing a great job kind of ping-ponging back and forth between different units. Cannon crew trying to get back online, and the troll hammers really are the ones that need to get online here. But it looks like mammoth fighting. Looks like Grombrindle has no fear has also been popped, as all these units across the line were holding at least momentarily there. Now, though, it looks like as that drops, quite a few units will get terrified away, but beautiful focus fire there from the Thunderers. And oh man, what's this? A big old overcast Searing Doom. Not going to do too much damage, as most of the dwarf units were able to maneuver out of the area of effect there. And yeah, dwarf guns staying online for the most part, but it does look like a couple of Thunderers have been pretty well shut down now. The fact that both Manticores are also still so healthy is a bit of a problem. These Brimstone guns got pulled way out of position there by that. But does Grombrindle have a smoke bomb? It does not look like he does, unfortunately. Otherwise, he could pin Wulfric in here and probably just straight up take him out, all things considered. But the lack of Slayers, the lack of Dragonback Slayers, especially with their slowing effect, kind of being felt at this point. There's nothing really to layer on, you know, that little bit of extra speed debuff. Bounce power starting to turn in King of the Dead's favor as he starts to mop things up here. There's the smoke bomb, though, we've been looking for. It does put that mammoth down to only 6 melee defense. So if Grombrindle can somehow get up and get in here and get an attack, that mammoth will get absolutely wrecked. Does look like he gets an attack. No? Come on. There we go. He does get an attack there, but it looks like the effect's basically worn off by then anyway. So didn't really get too much of an advantage from that melee defense component there. But Thunderers online here, able to get a little bit of a rear shot. Just had a tough time protecting against all that mass. There was a lot of just breakthrough mass there. And the fact that there weren't any Slayers, once they did break through, there wasn't a lot to actually punish them in melee, right? So, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Dwarfs are going to continue fighting here with their obstinate leadership. But it's basically all she wrote at this point. Grombrindle facing his fate against these ice trolls. I almost wonder, I used to use the Gyro Bomber in this matchup before. Even before it had the suppression effect. I almost wonder now, though, if you went even one, maybe, this is wild, but maybe even 2 Gyro Bombers. You could have one each kind of control the Manticores until they're completely dead, and then after they're dead, and turn their attention to the chariots. And I know from experience already that the main gun of the Gyro Bomber will absolutely shred someone like Wulfric, right? So you just kind of thinking about that. Once you get rid of the Manticores, then you come in, you can snipe Wulfric, and just absolutely mow down the rest of this army, blow up all the infantry with bombs and so on. Yeah. Yeah, bombers, man. Would have liked to have seen some bombers, but it's all good at the end of the day. Definitely fun stuff. But it's a tough one for the Dwarfs. It's an interesting matchup. I haven't played it too much since the suppression effect on bombers was implemented. I would imagine that's going to help them operate a bit better against Manticores. And once you get that aerial supremacy, then you can turn your attention to the infantry, right? Yeah, I'll have to kind of theory craft, put together some different builds for this matchup. Maybe play a few. But, cool. So let's go ahead, get the next competitor in here. And then we've got one more, Malverde, joining in. And then after him, we've got Jay Phoenix. So, awesome stuff. It's all good, man. GG. Yeah, King of the Dead's a very good player, so don't feel too bad about that. And I had a couple of tips for you. If you go back and watch the cast, I was kind of talking about your targeting priority a little bit and how you could have potentially changed things. But even still, I mean, that was tough. He had a really strong build there. So I would just say from the outset, you probably wanted to try and target the chariots with your cannon because the chariots can't heal. But let's see. Go ahead and update the score here. So King of the Dead currently at 2. If he can win this next one, then he will claim the crown for the day. Can he do it? Will he? Let us see. All right. So for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet, I have set up Streamlabs, so... Oh, hang on. There we go. It just took a minute. So yeah, if you become a member, that will play, or like this donation. Apparently the sound didn't play last time, but it's supposed to play that with a little sound. So that's neat. Okay, let me go ahead and change the map once again. We'll go to Southern Chaos Waste. King of the Dead goes Tomb Kings, bans Counts, and Empire. Very interesting. Alverde is probably going to go with the Greenskins here, it looks like. Only your 4th match. Wow, that's impressive, man, considering all things considered. You did very well. Very, very well. Yeah, if you just barely started playing, honestly, that's pretty impressive. Alright, so if you guys have been following the maps, there has been a little bit of a theme here, where we've kind of taken a journey from the mouth of the pass, through the old world, all the way up to the Southern Chaos Wastes. Fun stuff, following a little bit of a narrative, if you will. Maybe you should not play Dwarfs. Yeah, Dwarfs are pretty decent. The Dwarfs are interesting. A lot of people tend to gravitate towards them as newer players, but I almost counsel against that in many ways, because the Dwarfs, like, it's almost weird. Like, you would think they're noob friendly, and in some ways they are, but in some ways they also aren't, because like targeting priority is a concept that even is hard for players at the highest level, right? Like deciding what to shoot first, when, and with what. Oh, there we go. I heard that one. Hey. Oh, looks like I just about missed the notification though. I'll watch it pop up on my stream preview. Awesome. Yeah, they do get abused a lot, yeah, and you don't really learn mobility. But that being said, targeting priority you will learn, which is one of the hardest things to learn. And that's kind of what I was talking about in that replay there, in some of the advice I was giving. It's just targeting priority. Super, super important. I would recommend Tomb Kings. Tomb Kings is usually the faction I recommend to newer players, because they have kind of a balanced roster in many ways. Okay, yeah, let's see. Oh, there we go. Now it came through here. Tam and 10 sound check. Yeah, it actually worked that time. I heard it. I heard it. Awesome. Yeah, anything that has access to, like, every phase. So, Greenskins, I would have said previously, would be tough to learn, and they still kind of are in many ways because of their low leadership, but like Greenskins, Empire is a little tricky, and High Elves can be tricky, but those are also two kind of balanced factions. Tomb Kings I recommend because they have a balanced roster, like they have artillery, they have light cavalry, they have kind of heavy cavalry, they have good monsters, they have decent infantry, just kind of all around a well-balanced faction. They're relatively forgiving because you have the Realm of Souls mechanic, you have the Ushabti summon, right? So, yeah. Skaven and Dwarfs. Yeah. Skaven and Dwarfs are tough. That's two of the toughest to learn, I would say. Yeah, a lot of people will kind of gravitate towards those factions because of the playstyle, but yeah, I recommend probably Tomb Kings. Or Lizardmen can be good as well. Lizardmen are a little slow for my taste, but that's just me. I like runny fast things. Anyway, let's go ahead and have a look here at builds for the Warriors of Chaos. Look at this. I know Tamanten's a fan. I don't know why that's hard to say for some reason. Tamanten fan, Tam fan. I don't know. Marauders here. We've got some Mirror Guard as well. A whole bunch of Marauder Horsemen. Archaon backed up by some Dragon Ogres along with a Shaggoth. So good stuff. Let's have a look at the Tomb Kings. Looks like we've got some Carrions, Skeleton Horsemen up front. For the army, we've got two Necropolis Knights. Very interesting. These are the kind of heavy cavalry I was talking about. The Lance variant are actually very good right now. Great stats all around. 52 charge, high weapon damage, poison, just very strong. I've got Skeleton Spears, couple of Tomb Guard, a Wild Casket of Souls, Arc in the Black, and a Tomb Prince. Dov is a rat of unusual size. Confirmed. Yeah, Lizardmen can also make you very lazy. Yeah, can kind of lead you to playing sort of passively. They are off already, and the Casket actually is not going to have too many good targets to shoot at other than, like, this unit of Mirror Guard here. That's basically the only great target to shoot at, but looks like we do have some Poison Warhounds out in the periphery as well. And, looks like the Horsemen do have to be careful. If they get overly blobbed up, that Casket will punish them, like, disproportionately hard, right? So, as it is right now, they're just kind of flying around, skirmishing a little bit, throwing some javelins at those Carrion. The Carrion are going to come down to the ground to try and fight them in melee, which the Marauder Horsemen should be able to avoid that for the most part. Looks like we've also got some Skeleton Horsemen getting a little bold and brave there, but you can see the leadership damage actually is enough to rout those Marauder Horsemen just because, undead are spooky in general. Archaon, though, is an absolute menace in this matchup. You can see the Necropolis Knights maneuvering around to kind of mirror the Shaggoth and Archaon here. These two units have done a great job skirmishing out that Carrion, but if they can kind of swing back up and around and start to support against these Necropolis Knights, that will be very important. Meanwhile, just kind of outmaneuvering here. These Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes are going to actually engage the Casket of Souls in melee and, prevent it from firing. Has done a decent amount of damage to the Mirror Guard already, but I don't know about kind of like sacrificing this Horseman just for that momentary relief, but we'll see. Archaon looks like he's getting a Spirit Leech, a Fireball being thrown at something. Looks like it makes solid contact there on the Casket of Souls. The Casket of Souls is actually flammable. Interesting. I didn't realize. Makes sense, actually, because it's a tomb dude standing on the back. But let's see. Chaos Marauders definitely need to get involved in melee. Tomb Guard aren't really much of a target for them, but they can go after these skeletons and trade pretty efficiently there. Looks like Archaon just immediately chads through the summoned skeletons there, just gives a Zero cares in the world about that, and he's going to go ahead and... I thought he was going to go after Arcan there, but it looks like really nice use. The Necropolis Knights here going to rear charge in on the Shaggoth, start to do a ton of damage to him. Mirror Guard now engaging on these Tomb Guard here, and I don't know about this engagement. It's really not looking great for the Shaggoth. Burning Head going to be used here, but it really won't do much damage at all to those Necropolis Knights. The Necropolis Knights are just shredding the Shaggoth right now. These Dragon Ogres definitely need to peel out of these spears. Right now they're just saturating in all of these skeletons. Peel out of these spears, like get these Marauders around to screen the spears and rear charge them into the Necropolis Knights. They really need to fight those Necropolis Knights. And the Shaggoth is basically gone at this point, so I think that's more or less the game decided already. Unfortunately, just a quick misplay there, and the Shaggoth gets absolutely wrecked, while the Dragon Ogres just kind of stand and watch a little bit. Likewise, Archaon also has taken quite a bit of damage in this engagement. The Tomb Prince will be decent at fighting Archaon, but the Dragon Ogres can't stand up to all of this by themselves, and it looks like it is going to be a victory, quick victory for the Tomb Kings. Roomba of Doomba. Tomb Dude. Oh, yeah. Was that the Lore of Fire passive? Was it? I thought this guy was weak to fire baseline. Oh, I guess he's not. I guess you're right. Maybe I'm just a fool. I mean, you would think, right? Because it does have this mummy standing on the back. And aren't the mummies the ones that are actually flammable? I mean, I guess, is he technically a Lich Priest? The Lich Priests are not flammable, right? I don't even know. Who knows? Just light all the mummies on fire, to be honest. Yes. Yes. Did the curse actually go off? I guess Archaon... Oh, man, he does land a fireball there. Archaon trying his best to finish off Arcan. Archaon and Arcan fighting is always a good time because you get the pronunciation screwed up and then no one knows what's happening. But, man, those Necropolis Knights were a hard carry here. They're so strong right now. Crazy good in this matchup. Lich Priests are not flammable. Okay, thank you, Lore Master of Sotek. This is why I am glad you stop in at the exact moment that I need you to. And this guy is a Lich Priest, right? The guy on the back of the casket. He looks like a Lich Priest. He's got the stick. He's got the chin thing. Although he has face wrappings, so I don't know. Is he supposed to be flammable? You let me know. A pretty nice Burning Head is going to lead to critical army losses for Chaos, but the placement was definitely pretty solid. Probably got a bunch of skeletons there. The whatever's in the canopic jars, whatever that stuff is. Right? A tough draw by Malverde there. Honestly, I think the engagement with the Shaggoth and Archaon and the Dragon Ogres just not having the right support at the right time, I think ultimately is what cost him there. The Dragon Ogres definitely could have swung that engagement. But I almost wonder if you should bring two here, right? Like two Dragon Ogres with Archaon. Maybe you forego the Shaggoth, actually. I don't know. I'll have to kind of play around with it and see. But it's an interesting one. Oh, yeah, Norska is pretty decent starter faction. Yeah, Norska is pretty straightforward to learn. Like, you're not going to learn Skirmish very well. But, I mean, if you've already been teaching yourself Skirmish with Skaven and Coast, then, yeah, I mean, Norska as, like, a complement to that, you'll learn all of the melee things, right? So, that actually might be a good trade. All right, all right. Yeah, Norska, for the most part, is pretty straightforward. There are certain matchups where you kind of need to go like a weird mobile hit-and-run style, but most matchups you just smash face, right? And that's... like, Norska is a really strong rush faction, right? So, you smash some face. Alright, so we've got King of the Dead here. Let me pump him up a point, and that officially makes King of the Dead our wins leader for today. Let's see here. So congratulations. Just one congratulation, to be honest. But that is King of the Dead. Officially takes the crown. Can he hold off the final challenger is the question. And those are a little bit uneven. I'm going to try and not look at it. Yeah, man, for sure. If you check out, I definitely recommend checking out Falcon's Army Guide. He'll give you kind of some starter builds to give you ideas for most of the matchups, and then you can kind of work from there. So definitely check that out. He's got a video on his channel. If you look, I can even link it for you right now if you'd like, if you haven't seen it. Let's see here. Yep, here we go. So that's the video, and then you can find links in the description to actually like download the builds themselves. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, so now for the final map, we'll move to Central Chaos Wastes. And it looks like J Phoenix is added here, so should be able to see the game now. Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help. Happy to help. This is going to be the last battle for today, so huge thanks again to 1010 for the generous donations. All the rest of you, of course, as well, for chilling, liking, sharing, chatting. Been absolutely awesome. You guys are the best. Definitely looking forward to being able to stream. Now, my work schedule is going to start to get back to a little bit more of a predictable pace, so I can actually start streaming more frequently, it seems. So I want to do King of the Hills basically like every Monday, and then later this week also I'm planning on doing a build factory stream. I haven't done a build factory stream in a while, but I want to do one on the Greenskins because I could literally talk about Greenskins builds for 2 to 3 hours, and I kind of want to. So we're going to do that probably on Wednesday about this time, probably about noon US Mountain Time on Wednesday. Be sure to join in for that. What else? Yeah, Call of Duty streams, late evening US time. And then I'm going to try and get a tournament put together for the next couple weeks as well. New members. Oh, man. Did I miss that?
Ready to serve, my lord.
Hey, there it is. Anti-Mage, become a member once again. Big thanks, man. Yeah, that Green Knight with the old school Warcraft 2 voice chat for the Paladin. Perfect. Just a second, guys. Okay. Oh yeah, Eli. Just too good looking, huh? Yeah, I have that problem on occasion as well. Looks like Jay Phoenix gonna go Skaven, King of the Dead rockin', Greenskins. Should be interesting. Yeah, it's time to see some pump wagons, exactly. This is probably the best matchup for pump wagons. And I'm kind of surprised we haven't really seen that much pump wagons. Like, I haven't seen pump wagons in that many multiplayer battles, which kind of surprises me. I mean, I haven't been playing Greenskins as much as I probably should. I haven't really been using that all that much either, to be honest, come to think of it. And I thought for sure they would be one of the best units in the DLC, but actually Stone Trolls ended up being by far the best unit in the DLC, which does make sense. I mean, they are by far the best trolls in the game. Trolls that don't die, and they still run away, though. Time for a crumpin'. Oh yeah, you know it. Don't you know it? Alright. That's still playing, technically? Okay, let's get that out of here. What do we got? Central Chaos Wastes. It's time to see if King of the Dead can handle one last fight. He is the undisputed wins leader for today. Oh yeah, such a cool map. Wish you could get up this little path down here. That'd be kind of interesting. I don't know if it would work very well mechanically, but let's have a look at some builds. We'll start with the Skaven here. Skrulk, I would imagine. Yep, Skrulk on foot with an assassin. He's got a catapult here, which actually the leadership effect for the Plague Claw going to be very good against Greenskins. He's also got 2 Poisoned Wind Mortars. Looks like a Doom Flayer, 3 units of Rat Ogres, Extras Triads, Clan Rat Spears. Yeah, super solid Skaven build. Nothing really to complain about there. As for the skins, we've got Squig Hoppers, very good in this matchup. Obviously, the anti-infantry. We do have some Flappas. Oh yeah, 80 charge on those Flappas is absolutely ridiculous. Really surprised you don't see more of them specifically. We've got a Black Orc Big Boss here. Grom the Paunch. Oh yeah. Stone Trolls. No, the Swamp Things. Very interesting. Night Goblin Shaman, some Savage Orcs. 8 Peak Loons there. Goblins. But yeah, look at this. Bob and Grom together at last. Grom does have Language of the Boys, as well as the Black Orc Big Boss having Rabble Rouse. So kind of double dipping on that immune to psychology effect. Not really sure 100% why, but some more Flappas there. We're gonna watch the Flappas because this unit has some of the best animations in the game. It's absolutely hilarious. Look at these guys. They're having an absolute blast, just hopping along, flapping and flying. Well, they think they're flying, right? That's what matters. Oh, you guys are too nice to me. Anyway, I really like to pick up Grom here. This is probably actually one of Grom's best matchups. I mean, it's very clear that he would be good in this matchup, but he's hard to snipe for Skrulk. He's hard for the Skaven to pin down. Wow, man, 10 out of 10 for accuracy on those mortars, man. Although this one is actually, did not proc the effect, unfortunately. That is not the best, but it's okay. Let's see here. It looks like the catapult's going to be throwing at those savage orcs. Definitely a solid target there. See if you can break their leadership, start to break them off very quickly. I'm a little bit concerned, though. Lack of mass here will start to tell. The rat ogres definitely going to have their work cut out for them. Not only do they need to take out these squig hoppers, but they also need to take out those flappas who are already getting in the front line there. Oh, yeah. As the catapult makes contact, you can see the flaps, the flips, the flops, the snots. I don't even know. Grom also making his presence felt right away. Looks like the mortars have been able to get a few shots in here, and the savage orcs are definitely taking a pounding, but they're almost like a distraction unit, right? They're cheap enough that it really doesn't matter too much if they take a bunch of damage. And yeah, it looks like here the flappas, again, not really able to be caught by the rat ogres. One specific interaction here, a reason why you bring the flappas in this matchup, specifically not only for the higher charge, obviously, and so on, but rat ogres have in the 60s range of speed, right? So if you look at the flappas here, their speed is actually 70, whereas the regular pump wagons are only 60. Regular pump wagons can consistently be caught by rat ogres, however, the flappers are fast enough to get away. So a very specific interaction here with why you would want the flappers, but it looks like King of the Dead already got in here, got on the weapons teams. The Doom Flayers here and the rat ogres are able to somewhat protect the catapult, at least for some time, but the mortars have been shut down, Wah being popped now as well, all across the line as the units all kind of slug it out. Extra Striads will trade okay against the Swamp Things, but the Terror and the extra melee attack from Wah now being popped, and it's already not looking great for the Skaven. These Flayers just getting swarmed, and the mass of Squig Hoppers is really, really nasty. Not to mention Savage Orcs also trade very nicely against Rat Ogres, just because they're high weapon damage and high attack stats, so... Oh, yeah! A little bit of a stretch, and that is going to be a victory for... yeah, the Greenskins. Very swift one. I honestly think your best bet here is to counter rush. As Skaven, if you go like all in with a very heavy counter rush build, it honestly can work out okay sometimes. Like you go with like a drain effect, whatever what's it called? I can't even remember the name of it. Plague Furnace, yeah, Plague Furnace. You go maybe like Ick or even Snitch can be pretty decent here. Snitch can at least pin Grom the Paunch in place, but a very fun battle. A quick victory and some nice pump wagon play there. Squig Hopper's also absolutely just cleaning up shop. And yeah, it was a fun one. Definitely a fun one. So right in at 2 hours, right on time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm going to go ahead and swap it over to this here. Pop on a little bit of music and just let it play out for a minute. Thank you all so much for coming. Big thanks to all the competitors as well, of course. And yeah, thank you guys. Thanks, Anti-Mage, much appreciated, man. I'm glad you enjoyed. And back out here, and yeah, thank you guys. Been an absolute pleasure. I'm gonna go ahead and go grab some lunch because I am absolutely starving. Probably go take a nap. And yeah, if you're up late tonight, US time, be sure to catch the Call of Duty stream. That's it for today. Stream begins in 10 minutes. Yeah, stream ends in 10 minutes. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys. I don't even know if it's gonna end in 10 minutes. In fact, it's actually gonna end right now.